The growth of e-commerce industry in India, the India's most important the industry for the future, that India's e-commerce industry that is called the industry of the future. The e-commerce industry will be driven the economy in the future. The next 5 to 10 years, the most important sector in India's economy is driven by e-commerce industry. The volume is increased by 36% in a single quarter in the last year during this pandemic, and with the personal care, wellness, fitness segment being the largest beneficiary during this pandemic period last year within a single quarter. That's the future industry in India. That's we call that it's a reason that the e-commerce industry will drive the India's future economy. The large scale sector is involved with this e-commerce marketplace, and India's e-commerce festive sale also that record the gross sales of a margin of 60,000 crore for brands and sellers. Comparison to the 35,000 in the last year of 65% growth. This sector is ranked 9th in cross-border growth in the world, and it's projected to increase from 4% for the total food and grocery, apparel and consumer electronics retail trade in 2020 to 8% by 2025. This 5 years tenure will be a massive boost for this particular sector for the spending on online commerce, and the government e-marketplace. That portal have served the 7 million orders, and this is involved with 2.2 million registered sellers and the service provider, and almost 50,000 government buyers, and India's consumer digital economy that is expected to become a 800 billion US dollar. That's a market size within 2030, the span of 8 years. We can say that it's going to be a 800 billion US dollars from 90 billion in last year, driven by strong adoption of online services such as e-commerce and edutech industry in the country. This e-commerce market is expected to touch US 100 billion mark by 2024, owing to the consumers increasingly developing a preference for the online shopping, influenced by those cheaper data and higher mobile penetration across the country. And a global data survey that the e-commerce sale is expected to increase at a compounded annual growth rate of 18% between 2021 and 2025 to reach 8 trillion Indian rupees, and get the global estimated report that how much has the India spent on online e-commerce industry and online platform, how it's being a changing headroom for the India's economic growth, and the dream of country's $5 trillion economy for the next 5 years, how it can be a very crucial for this particular sector involved, how this can change the course of this economic. In 2020, the number of internet connection in India significantly increased to 750 million, driven by the Digital India program. Out of the total internet connections, 97% connection were wireless, basically in nature, and internet penetration in India has increased from 4% in 2007 to 45% in 2021. Number of active internet users in the country is the second highest globally, and it's one of the largest data consumers globally. It has the highest data usage per smartphone at an average of 10 GB per month. And the Indian social commerce gross merchandise value stood at $2 billion in 2022. By 2025, within a span of 5 years, during this tenure, expected to reach $20 billion with a potentially momentum jump to $70 billion by 2030, owing to the high mobile usage and high internet penetration across the country. And India's internet user expected to reach 900 million by 2025, and from 622 million currently, the internet user. The increase the annual growth rate of 45% until the next 5 years, I mean 2025. The online retail market in India is estimated to be of 25% of the total organized retail market and expected to reach 37% by 2030. And e-retail market is expected to continue its strong growth and nearly 1.8 trillion Indian rupees by the last segment of financial year. And over the next 5 years, the Indian e-retail industry is projected to exceed the 300 to 350 million shoppers, propelling the online gross merchandise values of 100 to 120 billion by 2025. The next decade, India's e-commerce business will rise 7 times to $300 billion. And the next phase of expansion will be led by e-grocery and smaller communities. The e-commerce industry's business model, the two types of business model in the e-commerce industry of one is marketplace and another is inventory-led model. These models are driven and key factor for the e-commerce industry to run, and this e-tailing market is basically to the standard and the direction of a zero inventory model in case of marketplace. And the FDI policy is 100% in e-commerce marketplace model under this automatic route, and this offer a digital platform for the consumers and merchant without a need for a warehousing the product, shipment and delivery and payment that help to various logistic companies and financial institutions. And in case of inventory model, that the shopping websites where buyer and choose from online with a range of product owned by the online shopping companies or the website owners. These websites take care of the whole process end to end, and starting with those product purchase, warehousing, and ending with the product dispatch and delivery to the customer. This whole online servicing with this retail industry based by this inventory model. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.